to welcome my friend David Eric Peterson, Darko, who drove up from LA to be here with us this evening. We met doing the Burning Man rock opera in 2008. And it's a little different style than you're used to, but don't let him fool you, he sings with the San Francisco Symphony, so. Thank you.
Thank you. Now for something completely Hi, I'm David, but since we're reading through Diva Marisa, most of us, you can call me Darko. Darko was my character name in the Burning Opera, and I think half of my friends in San Francisco still call me that.
At least I stopped calling you Eric.
Yes.
Not in the, yes, you did. You called him. Yeah.
It's like David Eric Peterson.
I
You know, the Burning Opera was 10 years ago. It's crazy. I'd like to acknowledge that I have 3 queens in the audience tonight. Even Marisa, the Queen of the Night.
Yes!
Thank you for inviting me. This is really cool. And what a lineup. My queen, Susan. Two seasons in a row with the San Francisco Renaissance Voices. I was the anachronistic character. So I played, I think, first Shakespeare, and then Robin Hood. And my queen, Nashwa, my girlfriend. We live in LA, and we are here off of a road trip, camping trip, 3 nights in a row of Hot Springs, just camping the last 3 nights in a row. So I came straight here. I don't usually dress like this. Let's see. So, I'd like for this to be more of a discussion. If you have any questions or anything, you know, even if I'm talking, just yell it out. Now that you've had hopefully a couple drinks, as I have, we'll move right into 1976. It's a time of great change, so nothing really changes here in America. 42 years ago, it was America's bicentennial. It was a little over halfway through the Cold War. I'm going to run through some bullet points just as a frame of reference. President Gerald Ford in 1976 gave way to Jimmy Carter. Both Microsoft and Apple were officially formed.
Wow.
Patty Hearst was found guilty of armed bank robbery of a sperm bank. The U.S. Naval Academy in Annapolis, one moment of silence for yet another gun violence atrocity. At the U.S. Naval Academy, the first class ever of women was admitted. The band played its farewell concert in San Francisco at the, I forget where it was, which was filmed, Winterland, yes, which was filmed and turned into the movie The Last Waltz by Martin Scorsese. Hotel California is released by the Eagles, and California's sodomy law is repealed. After about 19 years of combat, the Vietnam War is over in '75. After almost 60,000 Americans died going overseas for a war that most Americans believe was unjustified. In Vietnam, in Vietnamese, the war is called the Resistance War Against America. It's crazy. One good thing that came out of Vietnam, as in many crazy events, is a lot of good music, like the musical Hair. Woo! We'll come back to that, and a lot of protest songs. I was going through 1976, and there's a singer named Phil Oakes, who died in '76. He wrote hundreds of protest songs. He called himself a topical singer. He said, "A protest song is a song that's so specific that you cannot mistake it for bullshit." I saw that he died in '76, and I thought to myself, oh, that's the guy who wrote Eve of Destruction. I was wrong. That's Barry McGuire. He's still alive. But anyway, Phil Ochs wrote hundreds of protest songs, and in the 60s and 70s. Wikipedia says a protest song is a song that is associated with a movement for social change. You can also call them freedom songs. Martin Luther King Jr. said, they invigorate the movement in a most significant way. These freedom songs serve to give unity to a movement. I'm going to play 2 protest songs.
Yeah.
I want you guys to feel free. This is the end of the night, so feel free to snap your fingers, sing along, hum along, at least tap your feet. Damn it! You probably recognize both of these. There's something happening here, but it isn't exactly clear. There's a man with a gun over there, telling me I got to beware. Each time we stop, we hear what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. That line is wrong. Everybody's right if everybody is wrong. Young people speaking their minds, getting so much resistance from behind. It's time we stop. Yeah, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. What a field day for the heat. 10,000 people in the street. Young people carrying signs. Oh, they say hooray for our side. Next time we stop, hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going on. Paranoia strikes deep into your life, it will creep. It starts when you're always afraid. Step out of line, man comes to take you away. You gotta stop, hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going. Better stop, hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going. You gotta stop. Yeah, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going. We gotta stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Use a little more help. That's For What It's Worth by Stephen Stills, who was later in Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young. He wrote that when he was in Buffalo Springfield with Neil Young, and that on the Rolling Stones top 500 songs of all time, that's number 63. I thought that was an anti-war song, but I was wrong. In fact, it can be, it is. And that's one of my favorite things about lyrics, in especially rock and roll music, maybe especially, that it's so open to interpretation that I think that's much more important than the original intent of the music. It's actually about the Sunset Strip curfew riots of 1966, when Buffalo Springfield was the house band, the Whiskey A Go-Go. Apparently, rock and roll and folk rock and everything got so popular at the clubs on the Sunset Strip that so many young people were like, it was blocking traffic, and so Los Angeles was like, you know what, you gotta go home by 10 p.m. All right. Some big names that you would recognize got arrested.
Jack Nicholson was there.
That's right, he got arrested.
Right for the whiskey.
Yeah. Hey. And by the way, this next song was used in the soundtrack to at least 100 movies, but specifically Easy Rider.
Oh.
It's in the same key. This is by Thunderclap Newman. Call out the instigators, 'cause there's something in the air. We've got to get together sooner or later, 'cause the revolution's here, and you know it's right. We've got to get it together. We've got to get it together now. Right now.
He said, unhand me! Whoa! I finally made it. I finally got out. Out of booth.
Out of bloom.
Me and Lucifer. Lucifer This is my tune. My humiliated love.